Ladies and gentlemen, let's mix together a few movie themes, shall we? Let's begin with John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. Then let's add a dash of Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon and a bit of Jean-Claude Van Damme's Death Warrant. Finally, let's have a healthy heaping of Charles Bronson's Death Wish and Mr. Majestic. Those last two probably gave it away. It means only one thing. Robert Bronzi is back. A cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is here. Greetings, salutations, and other sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies, and tonight's lesson plan is called Escape from Death Block 13. Now, the last time I reviewed a Robert Bronzi film, it was Cry Havoc. Remember that one? That was an awful lot of fun. That's when the Charles Bronson clone, if you will, fought some kind of a supercharged Bigfoot Yeti type monster. Whole lot of fun on that movie. In this one, Bronzi is back and he plays Miklos Kovacs. Kovacs is a very simple farmer who has traveled to America to collect insurance money. His brother has worked for a big corporation, a firm, and unfortunately he died. So the company owes an insurance death benefit to the family. They haven't paid it, so Mick comes over from the old country to try to confront the owners and collect the insurance money that is due him. In the process, he manages to stumble upon a major drug cartel operation and being inserted into a nefarious prison to try to act as a government spy to bust up that drug ring. Okay, let me break you in for cast and crew now. Obviously, Robert Bronzi is the lead. Also starring in this is Nicholas Totoro, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, Chris Hahn. Little side note here, Chris also serves as an associate producer for the film, and Brian Jones pops up in this as well. It was written, directed, and edited by Gary Jones, so this is really his baby. And cinematographer Ken Stachnik is also worth mentioning because he has truly tried to capture the essence of late 1970 and early 1980 action films with the way he has arranged his camera and picked up on the. It's also neat the way he picks up the death scenes, so that you see the blood splatters in certain ways. Very reminiscent of those old time movies some good many decades ago. This film comes to us from the folks at Uncork. They're distributing it, and as your cinematic professor, it's necessary for me now to give you a lesson. The audio on this movie is really cheesy, and let me be more specific and say that it's exceptionally tinny. Now, you might want to say that a lot of the old action films were the same way, but that wasn't necessarily true once your big stars started to come in because they didn't want their voices sounding kind of tinny. They wanted their voices to sound deep and robust, and the audio had to improve. Now, this movie suffers from what I call the Mackie curse. Now, for those of you who are into editing, you know that Mackie was pretty much the way to go as far as soundboards were concerned. Mackie made great soundboards, but they had one problem. They were tinny. So if you were going to use a Mackie soundboard for a production, you needed to have an audio man who was well versed in the EQ bands so that he could adjust the sound on the microphone for each character so that they didn't come out sounding very tinny. Okay? Unfortunately, a good sound men are and still are very hard to find, and as a result, a lot of the film and video courses taught at the colleges just skipped the EQ band altogether. They used the boards for power and proper miking for pickup, but never really tried to adjust. And this was a horrendous mistake. Now nowadays, only the bigger productions are using soundboards. Most of them are trying to use sound equalizers, if you will, that are contained within editing software. And this might just show that you have somebody who may be very good at editing software, but not so good when it comes to the audio aspects of it. And as a result, this one sounds like it was recorded and done on a Mackie board with somebody who had no idea of how to run the EQ, and everything in this thing sounds exceptionally tinny. So the bottom line here is that everyone knows Robert Bronzi is basically a ripoff of Charles Bronson. So his movies are basically ripoffs too of the types of movies that Bronson used to make all the way back in the 70s, 80s, and squeaking in to the early part of the 90s. This movie is a throwback, a kind of perverse homage, if you will, to those films. So if you enjoyed those old films, you're going to love this one. It'll meet all of your needs by stretches and then beyond. It serves as a tribute to those movies. So my suggestion to you is obviously don't take this one too seriously. It doesn't take itself seriously. Make a little popcorn, pop out a cold one, and enjoy. We're going to give this one a B just for fun. And now that you have learned what you have learned here at the Fearless,